I took my Jeep and tent to Blue, Arizona for a little camp out, solo camping adventure. It was weird. And with the intention of filming the setup and teardown of the tent and giving a firsthand experience of what that was like. And I mean, it was good, and I got it all on film. After that, I'm going to give a little project review and hopefully expose some details about rooftop tents maybe you did or did not know. And hopefully at the end you'll be in a better position to make a buying decision or see if it's right for you or not. So hope you like it, and let's go check it out. Okay, so sitting up in the tent, you can see that my head basically touches the top of this tent right before I can fully sit up. So just something to consider, like if you're a tall guy and you're in a tent, you know, how high is it going to be? Is it going to bother you? Probably going to be laying down most of the time, but if you're sitting up doing work, you know, on a laptop, it's just something to consider. You're going to be more hunched over than is probably natural for you. So, and it's just, you're going to feel the top of the tent touching your head. And the claim of the size of the tent is that it's 84 inches long, like some semi truck honking its horn. 84 inches long by 52 inches wide by 41 inches high. But I bet that 41 inches is without the mattress. So if you've got a bunch of stuff underneath you, you've got a mattress, you've got some kind of maybe pad on top of that, maybe a sleeping bag or blankets on top of that, it's going to get reduced. Well, where I'm sitting right now, let's see, the height is, I mean, so we go to the plastic part where the plastic starts, that says 33 inches. So whatever their claim is, I don't know that I can really get that there. So I mean, the claim is 41 inches high. I don't think that's inside the tent. I think that might be outside the tent. And if I'm looking from side to side here, the claim is that it's 52 inches wide. And inside the tent, it is more like 49 inches wide. I get 49 inches. 84 inches long. Let's see, let's go. This is probably gonna be pretty close. So, yeah, I mean, I get like 81 and a half inside the tent. So, you know, is it the size they claim? Probably on the exterior, but the interior size is a few inches less in every direction. So something to consider, if you're a tall guy, again, it's not 84 inches inside, but I can lay down completely flat and not just barely not touch my head at one end and not touch my feet at the other end. So you can completely stretch out, which is nice. Another claim is that it sleeps 2 to 3 people. I think 2 is probably the max. I mean, if you had if you're camping maybe with infants or something like that, yeah, they could sleep up here with you. But there's not a lot of room. If you're a big guy like me, again, I'm 6'2", I weigh 250, 6'2", 250 pounds. You know, you're not getting another one of me in here. That's for sure. So you better have a small spouse. And also another thing to keep in mind is that you're going to have some gear in the tent. You're going to have maybe some drinks, maybe some food, maybe a laptop, or maybe some other kind of gear, maybe something to pass the time like games, whatever. So you're going to have to figure out how to make space for those things. Okay, the next claim is that you set up the tent in just 1 minute. I mean, that's mostly true, except the rain flies. It's probably going to take more time to set up the rain flies. And then, it's like deciding whether you're going to zip the panels closed or the netting, and, like what you're going to have open. So it's going to be more than 1 minute, but basically you can get up and running in 1 minute. So I mean, I think it's fair to say that, but it's just, it does need a little bit of a reality check. I have the netting open on two sides, and so the bugs have found me. I guess this is a good time to demonstrate the netting. So here's the netting, and you know, you basically get a blackout panel, and then this see-through netting, which is really nice because I mean it keeps out almost everything. So only the smallest of the small are going to get through this. Something else to keep in mind is that depending on the direction of wind, it may be direction of rain. You may actually not want the rain flies up. You may just want those down because they're going to keep out something that's kind of blowing in. They do have these like handy loops that will tie these things down, so you could either roll them up or you could actually like keep the rain fly down, so it's not just flapping. The next claim is that it's a all weather waterproof rooftop tent, and I think what they meant to say is that when it's closed, it is waterproof. I would take that with a grain of salt. If you're in driving rain or something, which you probably could be if you're overlanding, then it's not going to be waterproof. I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be a way for water to get in. Granted, it would have to come up underneath, but you know, if you're in driving rain or you're going fast, like if you're on a freeway in the rain, I don't know, maybe there's a way for water to get in. So I you know, 100% waterproof. I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, so with that being said, I did spend all night in the tent in the rain. It rained off and on all night long, and zero water got in the tent. And in fact, zero water even got under the rain flies. You know, for me, it was more than good enough. There's another claim that it's 100% blackout. This was not exactly true. I had all the panels zipped closed because I didn't want any light leaking out, because light attracts bugs, and so I didn't want any bugs, you know, coming toward me out in the middle of this rainforest that I was in. And it blocked out probably 98% of the light. When dawn came around, when the sun came up, there was a little bit of light that leaked through, all right, despite me having everything zip closed. So was it 100% blackout? No, it was more like maybe 98, 99%. So if you're one of those people that has to have zero light and you're for some reason out camping and this is a deal breaker for you, well, okay, I warned you. Sorry, I was tired of sitting up, so so I wanted to lay down, or at least recline a little bit. Another claim is that it is sturdy and safe, and I have to agree. It is. I mean, it moves a little bit, and so I don't know under what conditions wind would affect this. It seems like it could withstand a lot, but you know, I don't know what that breaking point is, or what that critical mass of wind versus these struts is where it would push this thing around. Just not sure. You know, if you're camping in tornadoes or hurricanes, this probably isn't going to hold up to that. But you probably also have bigger problems. So I'm, you know, until I see one of these withstand an Arizona dust storm, I'm going to remain skeptical on that. Okay. I'm just trying to give you guys different looks at this tent. So this is kind of like the experience inside the tent here. Another claim is that it's got a triple layer mattress and bottom oak board. Is it oak? I don't know. Who cares? Triple layer mattress. You know, the mattress is pretty good. I thought it says it's a 5 centimeter mattress. And I do happen to have a metric tape measure, so let me just measure this here. And Yeah, I mean, I think it's 5 centimeters. It's, you know, is that big? No, that's more like, it's more like almost 2 inches. So it was good enough for me to sleep in, for sure. I mean, it was comfortable and I was okay. It would be a lot better if it had a memory foam mattress pad, but it was pretty good. And so I endorse that. I'm okay with that. If it had a memory foam mattress and like some kind of like waffle blanket, I would probably just live in this. It is pretty nice. Okay, another claim is that it has an LED light strip. It does have an LED light strip, but it broke after 2 uses, so it stopped working. It is like the cheapest of the cheap LED light strips. It plugs in. I plugged mine into a USB battery pack, and which I used for all kinds of other things. That was working fine. The switch broke on this after, like I said, 2 uses. So it's $15 that I need to spend on Amazon to replace this. I did email the manufacturer, and they're like, they basically told me to buy it myself, which I thought was funny. So anyway, no, not even an offer to replace. Is it a big deal? No, it's not a big deal. It's $15, or less. So whatever. So another claim is that it has an air conditioning interface. It does. It has this like hose panel where you can get an external air conditioner and interface it in. All right, so yeah, it has that. I'm not a person that's probably going to use this for like glamping, you know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, I just don't see me taking an air conditioning on an overland adventure. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I will someday. I don't know. So, but it does definitely have that. So if you need that, it's got it. So another claim is that it's got a USB socket. It does have it. It's behind me, and it's sort of under the mattress, and it requires that you power it externally, which is going to be wired up through the bottom of the tent. I don't see anybody doing this. I see somebody like me is going to, I'm going to get a battery that has USB power built into it, and I'm going to use either USB battery packs or that, like something like an Anker Solix, and I'm just going to plug my stuff into that. I'm not really going to use the power capability of the tent with it's got like 12 volt source, and I mean, it's just, I don't know, it seems crazy to do it. So why would I wire it through the tent when I already have that power, through battery packs? I would rather not wire my vehicle directly into the tent, because it's just more things that could fail, and also more things I have to disconnect if I take the tent off, right? So yeah, probably not something I'm going to use. Okay, something else that comes with the tent is this mesh sort of like cargo net that sorry, my camera's going crazy. This mesh cargo net that like straps to the ceiling. It's kind of useless to me because it just hangs down and it doesn't really support the weight of anything except for a piece of paper. So there's really no point in it for me, and I've just completely taken it down. Something that is in the tent that totally works and is fun and cheap and easy are these pockets that hang down from 2 corners of the tent. There's one that hangs down from this side too. You can put, and I'll just turn the camera around. You can put things in these pockets, right? So if you've got drinks or you've got devices or whatever, they can go right in those pockets, and it makes life really easy. You're gonna put your shoes in separate bags to keep everything clean anyway, so you don't need to put your shoes in there. You don't want to put your shoes in there. So, I mean, all your stuff can really go in those pockets and get it off the floor and kind of use the vertical space to your advantage. So that's something I really do like about this tent. Okay, so something that I think the manufacturer has zero control over is, of course, it's a rooftop tent, right? So you're up off the ground, you're on the roof of your vehicle. If you got a Jeep, that's pretty high up in the air. So, you know, this is what the view is when you're getting out. Okay, you can see it feels like it's a long way down, and you got to get your head out of the tent, and you've got to really be careful making your way down the ladder and, you know, getting down. So if you're a person that has trouble, you know, maybe you got arthritis in your knees or hips or whatever, you know, go stay at a Hilton. Don't get a rooftop tent. But, you know, I'm not a young guy. I got out fine. So you probably do okay. The tent attaches to your roof rack with steel brackets, bolts, and nylon nuts. I use Loctite to avoid any vibration surprises. All right, so the sun came out, and we're going to demonstrate setting up the Naturnest Orion rooftop tent. Let's do it. All right, start your stopwatch. Naturnest claims that the tent can be set up in 1 minute or less, so I overlaid a timer on the original speed setup video to test that theory. I set another timer on the tent teardown. I encourage you to skip around if you need to satisfy your curiosity and re-watch parts of the setup and teardown. Nonetheless, setup was fast and I was not hurrying. I think if I had a bit more experience and I was attempting a speed run, I could get the basic tent set up in a little more than 30 seconds. The buckles need to be slightly adjusted each use or else they require a good amount of strength to latch and delatch. For me, this is what eats up most of the time. When you get unbuckled, all that there is left to do is push up the sides and let the struts self-straighten. It may require some force, not unlike an over-the-head shoulder press. I'm 6'2" and found myself on my tiptoes. Shorter people are going to need to step on the rock rails or something to get a solid push. Well, that's it. Just about a minute. The tent's all set up, so I'm basically ready to go. Okay, now we just need to get the ladder, get into the tent, and then get the rain fly set up. All right, let's get the ladder. The collapsible ladder is made of beefy, strong materials and it expands fast. It attaches to the tent and both sides have the hooks. So whichever side you choose, access is pretty fast and easy. The rainfly setup really consists of inserting the high tension rods into the slots attached to the tent, then hooking the other end into the loops on the rainflies themselves. Okay, so the sun came out. And it got so steamy out here, it is not even funny. Ugh. I was trying to capture the real-world vibe of setting up the tent in the wild by yourself. I found that lying flat on my stomach and back allowed me the most comfortable position to attach the rainflies. Oh my god. That may have taken like 4 minutes or something, but oh my gosh. It's like so hot. You don't want to get the inside of your tent dirty, so you need to take off your boots before you get in. Question is though, where do you put them? Well, Naturnest provides this bag for your shoes right there, and you can stick your boots in set it aside. You know, it's getting a little dark, and luckily Naturnest provides this light. So you just take it and plug it into a USB powered thing, and there we go. And we have a little bit of light. That's nice.
The provided light strip lasted for 2 clicks and it died. Luckily, I brought extra lighting for my cameras and they worked out fine. With the tent all set up, I took a break while it rained outside and it was as peaceful as possible.
Okay, so I thought I'd talk for a second about the case candy, or like the stuff they give you with the tent, which is really handy. And I think it's actually absolutely necessary. So the first thing is the case for the ladder. As you can see, this thing has some dirt on it right now, which was mud probably when I was putting my boots away. When I'm gonna get a little bit of video of the ladder, but when you're putting away your ladder, it's gonna be dirty, all right, when you put it away, because you're probably not gonna clean it out here. Probably gonna clean it when you get home, if you clean it at all. So you don't want to put all that dirt into your tent on top of your memory foam mattress, right? Otherwise you'll be sleeping in dirt forever. So the idea is to put your tent in a case, put the case in the tent, have the case be nice and clean. But so this case is totally necessary for the ladder. The next thing is, and this is probably the most useful thing, is they give you a couple of these bags for your shoes. And so you can take your boots off and put them in here, and they're nice and clean in here. You can put this in your tent, and it's dirty on the inside, but it is totally clean on the outside. And so that's going to save you from having muddy boots in your tent. And they're nice enough to give you a couple of these. My only complaint about these is that they come with these carabiners, but there's really nowhere to hook them to in the tent or on the side of the tent. There's nowhere that's really built in for that, so you have to just make something up. It didn't really bother me. I was alone in my tent, so it's like you could just shuffle it off to one side and it's no big deal. But these bags, totally necessary, and I'm very grateful that they give them to you. The final thing is a bag for the rods for the rainflies. So this keeps all those together. All this stuff goes in the tent before you close it, so it fits in there, and it all travels together. So you don't have to remember this stuff or anything. You just throw it in the tent, throw it in the middle of the tent, and close it all down, and you're good to go. So that's the stuff you get with the tent. You also get a little bag of hardware that is necessary to bracket the tent to your rack. But you use that once, right? So anyway, thought that the review would not be complete without showing this stuff. Oh, hey. So we are going to tear down the tent, and we're gonna put a stopwatch on it. I've never seen anyone talk about how long it takes to actually take down the tent, because I think that it's significant. There's a lot of rain flies and those little poles, and then actually collapsing the tent it's got some challenges to it. So we're gonna do that, and you're gonna watch. Check it out.
Before I forget, please hit the subscribe button. YouTube makes us get 1,000 subscribers before they start sharing revenue from ads, so please help me get there.
Okay, so that's almost it, but I want to show you these clips. This solution seems a little weird, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. Let's take a look. So, sorry, I'm trying to get on a flat spot of ground here. All right. Got my finger in the shot. Classic. Okay, so these clips, I like to sort of sandwich down with one hand, and I'm kind of, I don't know, I consider myself like an average strength kind of guy, and I'm not gonna lie, these are a little difficult. You can hear that snap. Yeah, it's a real positive snap. So these are like safety straps. Look at extra guard here, and let's do the other side. So I'm just gonna sandwich this down and push up. It feels like there is something. There we go. Okay. All right. So that is tearing down the tent. Whew. Wow, what a job. All right, so let's see, final thoughts on the rooftop tent. You know, is it as big as they say it is? The interior dimensions are different from the exterior dimensions. Something to keep in mind. Does it keep the rain out? In my opinion, yes, it worked fine. And when I used it in the rain, no rain got in. Is it easy to get into and get out of? For me, yes. For you, you know, your mileage may vary. Is it comfortable? Yes. For me, it was fine. And if you need a little extra, you could get like a 1 or 2 inch mattress topper and be in heaven. Is it totally blackout? It's almost totally black. It might as well be, unless you're one of those people that needs to not see your hand in front of your face. In the brightest of sun outside, it might as well be total blackout. It's probably 99% total blackout. Does it have some cool features? Yes, I think it really has. They really thought about it and made some great features. Is it, let's see, what else did they claim? USB power sources and the USB light. It's probably not things I would use anyway. I would probably have other lights. I might replace the light strip that broke. So the big question is, you know, would I buy it again? And for me, yeah, it's great, and I'll take it out on many trips, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So for me, it's a buy. It was totally worth the money. It was a great price, and so you know, your mileage may vary, but I like it. Thanks, Naturnest. Gotta get out of the sun. It's really bright.